The price of Bitcoin today is $22,465, and it really does look like it's going to break back to the upside. Now, one of the key reasons why it looks like it's going to break back to the upside is because we dropped down so quickly before we created this big gap in liquidity, as I mentioned in the previous video. And what that means going forward is that when we go up, it's going to go up pretty quickly, and it's going to go up fairly significantly. If we actually measure what this drop was here, it was a fairly significant sized drop. The drop itself was approximately 4.5%. If we measure essentially what the price increase on Bitcoin's price would be, if we were to go all the way back up to the top of this thing, it would be approximately a 4% rise in the price of Bitcoin. What are the odds on that happening? Well, they are fairly high given there is no liquidity in this range right here. And the other thing to point out about the price of Bitcoin right now would be that if you go over to the daily chart and you look at how we're trading, last time we had a bit of a big drop down and then we had a bit of consolidation in this range and then we bounced back to the upside. It's also important to point out that Bitcoin remains trading within this downward trading range right here, which is not a bearish formation. This is actually quite bullish, and we still sit above the lower levels of liquidity here. We've not been all the way down to $21,500, and so we remain fairly bullish at this point in time, tussling with these levels of resistance to break back into the previous trading range. So in today's video, I'm going to explain what my current positions are on the price of Bitcoin, because they've changed ever so slightly. I've also opened a new Ethereum trade. We're also going to discuss what is going on with TAP, TAP, XTP coin. We're also going to discuss what's going on with TERNOA. That's why I was getting confused then, confusing caps with taps. Caps, we're going to discuss what's going on with caps. We're also going to discuss what's going on with Dafi and how we can expect prices of these particular altcoins, as well as some other altcoins in today's video, how we can expect them all to perform over the course of the next month. So if that does sound interesting to you, drop a like on today's video, subscribe to the channel, and let's crack straight on, because the price of Bitcoin actually right now is pumping. So first things first, I want to discuss what I've done. I've taken, again, a very highly leveraged trade at these levels right here. I wouldn't recommend anybody doing what I'm doing right here. It's just I expect a breakout very soon. I expect a 4% move. So being that I expect a breakout soon, I expect a 4% move, I decided to increase the amount of leverage that I'm using. So I'm using a certain amount of leverage right here, essentially meaning that I could lose $11,000 if the price of Ethereum drops by $20. I'm willing to risk that amount of money, essentially class it as a stop loss. I'd rather than, because one of the things that I'm guilty of, and I'm sure that many of you are, is when you're in a loss on a trade, continually adding more and more liquidity to that. So rather than using a stop loss, rather than doing any of that stuff, I'm using my liquidity, or rather I'm using my, my liquidation point as my stop loss at this point in time. Again, maximum loss here of $11,000, but the upside on this is pretty good. So this is my Ethereum trade right now. I'm pretty bullish on it. I'm also bullish on Bitcoin, of which I have 2 Bitcoin trades open right here. And at the same time, I'm expecting the price of Bitcoin to rise up because I don't think there is a whole lot of resistance in the charts right now. So let me explain first of all my theory around the resistance on the price of Bitcoin, which I've already explained quite a lot regarding this long candle to the downside. But at the same time here, going over something like the 15-minute chart, you can see that we're starting to throw little red candles here. You can also see that we've touched the bottom of the green VWAP several times, which does indicate we are headed for another price rise. Because as you can see here, when you touch the bottom of the VWAP, you tend to run to the upside. Even when we drop back to the downside, we touched the bottom of the VWAP and we ran back to the upside. So at this point in time, I'm expecting Bitcoin's price to start rallying probably towards the latter end of today, and I expect that to affect the altcoin market. Now, one altcoin that's being affected in particular right now, not necessarily by Bitcoin, but more so by the market favoring it rather bullishly, is CAPS. CAPS is now back at 5.6 cents, up 7.7% so far today. Not we expecting from this? Because to me, this chart's looking good. Volume is coming in. It's looking very, very healthy. I've got another video coming out about caps, not taps. I've got another video coming out about caps on the main channel fairly soon. So again, watch it when it comes out, but it'll explain more about why I fundamentally believe that this is a very solid investment for the long term. And I fundamentally believe that, again, at the current market valuation, it's significantly undervalued. If you look at the recent price action that we've seen on the price of caps, yes, the value is up, but if you zoom out on this chart entirely and go back in terms of its history, it's still very much down from where it used to be. But the actual application is gaining significant amounts of adoption, and the indicators right now are suggesting a buy. What actually is crypto saving experts saying on the daily chart? Saying a strong buy on caps. So that's pretty good news for caps holders if crypto saving experts are approving of it right now. I'm pretty pleased about that. Again, I want to point out that's TradingView's analysts that are incorporated within Crypto Saving Expert's website. Again, if you ever want to check the price of any particular cryptocurrency, go over to cryptosavingexpert.com, just type it in on Google, and you'll get all of these different things. It's all completely free. We don't want your money here. We just want you to use the website. So I'd appreciate that. Drop a like on today's video. Anyway, back to the price of Bitcoin. What is going on with the price of Bitcoin? Of course, you all know at this point I'm long, but what is going on right here? Well, Bitcoin, or rather Ethereum in this particular case, is jumping up and down, taking liquidity from these higher levels here. And essentially, for Ethereum to confirm a breakout, all it needs to do is break above this trading range that we're in right now. If I'm to draw that on the chart, we've already technically broken above it, and that's why I've opened a slightly larger than sensible long position. But we should, in theory, rally all the way up to at least this level here, around 1,586, at which point I'll take significant profit on the trade, I'll fund the trade more, and that'll bring down the amount of leverage that I'm using. This is a very short-term scalp position from my perspective, and when I say short-term, I mean short-term. This is not a long-term trade. I'll use the profits from this trade to back up the liquidity on this trade, bringing my overall leverage down significantly as and when I take profits on it. So, back to the price of Bitcoin. How is Bitcoin doing? Of course, we've already discussed the fact that we're touching the top of this VWAP band here, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's ultimately quite a good thing. However, one of the things to point out about Bitcoin right now is the DXY. Now, the DXY is down 0.25% today. That's pretty good news, to be honest, because we're expecting this to continue declining to the downside. Now, there's a lot of people at the moment that are bullish on the DXY. I'm bearish on the DXY. And the reason that I'm bearish on the DXY is, if in doubt, zoom out. We are currently stuck in a bearish downtrend, and there is no reason to believe that this is going to go anywhere other than downwards. Just like on the price of Bitcoin, when Bitcoin is going down and everybody was just selling, no one's ignoring the fact it's going down. The same thing is happening here to the value of the US dollar, and in order to confirm a Bitcoin breakout up to about $28,000, it's my personal belief that we need to break below 103 this level right here, 103.937. If we lose that 103.937 level, we're likely going to drop significantly to the downside on the DXY, which should in theory cause a Bitcoin price increase. At the same time, if we want to know when Ethereum's price is going to increase, we need to be looking at this chart right here, which is Ethereum versus Bitcoin. We can look at Ethereum's chart, but Ethereum versus Bitcoin will give us a separate story aside from what's going on with the price of Bitcoin, which looks moderately bullish. So on this, we have the W reversal pattern forming right here. It's actually cup and handling outwards. So if you zoom in a little bit, let me explain what a cup and handle is. A cup and handle would be this right here. If we wait for the screen to reset, you can see that we've got basically a cup shape forming here, a handle outwards going slightly down. You would expect this to break to the upside at some point in the coming days, being that Ethereum versus Bitcoin's valuation recently has not been all that volatile at all. Like Ethereum has literally just been following Bitcoin and just trading ever so slightly aside from what Bitcoin has been doing. Checking back in on my current open trades during the course of the year, it's going pretty well is this trade now. So we're about $5,000 in profit during the course of today's video, and it's going to probably keep running. Again, we're already over 1,580, near enough. I think this is going to be a good trade. I think that, to be honest, it's going stupendously well. I did not expect it to happen during the course of this video, but now we're at 1,582, whatever, $6,000 in profit. That's how fast you can make money, but it's also how fast you can lose money as well. So that's important to point out. But going back anyway to look at some more kind of in-depth things about, I don't know why there isn't more buying demand on Glimmer right now. So Glimmer coin is down cheap. I would buy some of this, I am buying some of this. Another coin to get in right now in terms of a long position would be Zilliqa. I believe that Zilliqa's price has bottomed out. We seem to have hit the bottom here. I expect another bounce back to the upside, at least to this control line right here. Another coin that's going particularly well at this moment in time, which seems to have a nice period of consolidation, nice amounts of volume coming through at this moment in time, would be XTP, currently back trading now at 46 Satoshis. We don't have a whole lot of resistance in the chart. There's a few big ones on here, but to be honest, I don't know what the point of putting that for sale at 53 is. All you're doing is scaring the price away. Don't be placing sells in the order book all the way up at these levels. It makes no sense to put the sells in the order book. Wait for the coin's price to get there and then put the sells in the order book if that's the level of which you want to sell at. At the same time, you can see that there's significantly more buying demand coming in right now than there is any selling demand. There is not a whole lot of selling demand. This morning there was, but this afternoon has been more so buying than selling, and the support still looks very good with 17 million XTP buy order at 35 Satoshis. I'm very bullish on the price of XTP, especially leading up to the USA launch. Now, the USA launch is coming very, very soon. I've got a video coming out about XTP and the USA launch and what I expect is going to happen to the price very, very soon on the main channel as well. So make sure you do stay tuned for that, because when that video comes out, you never know, maybe you start moving again. I think it'll be stimulated a little bit. Either way, again, Bitcoin looking pretty decent. What's my trade looking at right now? It's pretty good. This is a good decision. Again, in order to confirm the breakout on Ethereum for my trade right here, we would need to close an hourly candle above $1,583, as I pointed out earlier in this video. If we break that $1,583, we close an hourly candle above it, we can expect basically to go zoop straight back to the upside because there is no liquidity in this range right here. So, in short, I'm bullish on the markets right now. I don't know why anyone will be bearish. The other thing to discuss would be TERNOA. I think is going to really it's going to rip pretty soon. My target on TERNOA is in the, what did I say, $2 is my overall target, but in the short term, I reckon it can get up to 15, 20 cents. And then from 15 to 20 cents, I think it'll run up again. It's also important to point out that the market cap is still only $36 million, so it's very, very small. And it's where the opportunity lies. Like if this makes it up to $1 billion market cap, you're going to see some significant growth of the value of your bag. And that's really what I'm looking for right now. So overall, markets look good. Don't be scared. Don't panic trade. Don't make any major decisions. The Fed is going to start saying words later on this week. I think those words are going to be fairly positive as well. And because they're going to be positive words, I would expect prices to react very positively to them. So on that note, guys, thank you all very much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy it, slap a like on it. Don't forget, if you don't know how to trade or want to learn to trade, please watch the trading tutorial on the screen right now. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Go to cryptosavingexpert.com. Goodbye.